Welcome to this SkillPad video resource where we make learning simple. In this video, we are going to look at the land tenure system in Uganda. Ever wondered why some farmers in Uganda struggle to increase their yield? The answer lies in a simple word: tenure. First off, land tenure just means how people own and use land. In Uganda, there are 6 main types: customary, freehold, milo, leasehold, cooperative, and state ownership. Think of customary like family land passed down through generations. No paperwork, but lots of stories. Freehold and milo are more official, with documents proving ownership, while leasehold is basically land for rent. Land legislation is the set of laws that says who owns what. These rules help avoid endless arguments, because no one likes a fence dispute with their neighbor. Land tenure documents and maps are like receipts and blueprints which show who owns, uses, or rents a piece of land. Due to population and economic dynamics, land reform has become more imperative than ever. It's about making land access easier and boosting food production. Registering land is one step, but real reform means every farmer can grow with confidence. These are the issues we are going to cover in this video. But what exactly does land tenure mean? In simple terms, land tenure is the relationship, legal or customary, that individuals and groups have with respect to land and the resources attached to it. These tenure rules decide who can own, use, transfer, or manage land. They define property rights and set the stage for how land is bought, sold, inherited, or even borrowed. Every society, including Uganda, has its own unique land tenure systems. Sometimes these rules are clear and written down. Other times they're informal, passed down by word of mouth or tradition. This overlap between formal and informal systems can lead to confusion, disputes, and insecurity. And depending on your gender, ethnicity, class, or political connections, your experience with land tenure may be very different from your neighbors. Each system comes with its own set of benefits and challenges. Uganda's most significant legal step in modern times was the Land Act of 1998. This law formally recognized 4 main types of land tenure: freehold, leasehold, milo, and customary. However, there are also cooperative and state land tenure systems. Let's break down each one. First, we have the milo tenure system. Originating from the 1900 Uganda Agreement, milo land is a legacy of colonial-era land allocations, measured in square miles. Owners have perpetual ownership, can transfer land and use it as they please. But there's a twist. Occupants called lawful or bona fide tenants may also have rights to live and farm on the land, making management complex. This form of land tenure is fraught with security challenges and transfer rights that are often challenged in court. As a result, this form of land tenure is beset with conflicts between landlords and tenants. Next, we have the freehold tenure system. Freehold is the closest to private land ownership. Land is held for life, can be inherited, sold, or mortgaged, and comes with a title deed. Benefits of this tenure system include strong security and flexibility in using land. However, there is limited availability, and it requires formal registration. The third type is the customary or communal tenure system. Most common in rural Uganda, customary tenure is based on tradition and managed by clans or communities. There's often no formal paperwork, but rights are recognized within the community. This form of land tenure is still common in the northern and eastern parts of the country. It makes land accessible, affordable, and familiar to local people. However, lack of documentation can lead to disputes and insecurity, especially for women and minorities. The fourth type is the leasehold tenure system. Leasehold means renting land for a set period, often 49 or 99 years, from a private owner, government, or institution. It provides access to land without full purchase, which is suitable for business and investment. However, it offers limited duration and less security than ownership. The fifth type is the cooperative tenure system. This system allows groups, like farmers' cooperatives, to own and manage land collectively. It provides an avenue for shared resources and risks and increases the bargaining power of individual members. However, decision-making can be slow, and internal conflicts may arise. The last one is state ownership. Some land is owned by the government for public use, like national parks, roads, or government buildings. This form of tenure protects national interests and resources. However, it can limit local community access and use. Each tenure system shapes who can own, use, and benefit from land in Uganda. Some offer strong security and opportunities for investment. Others, while rooted in tradition, can leave farmers vulnerable to disputes or eviction. The The 1998 Land Act was designed to clarify these rules and encourage fair, productive land use. In summary, Uganda's land tenure systems are the foundation of its agricultural development. They influence land security, investment choices, and how communities grow their food. Understanding these systems is the first step toward building a fair, productive, and secure future for all Ugandans. Uganda's journey with land reform and registration is a story of shifting power, evolving rights, and the quest for fairness. Land legislation refers to a set of laws and guidelines that govern how a country manages, administers, and distributes land. These laws aim to ensure fair distribution, resolve disputes, regulate transactions, and promote sustainable land use. Let's look at how Uganda's land laws have changed over time. Before the 1995 Constitution, a series of agreements and laws shaped land ownership. In 1900, the British signed an agreement with Buganda's Kabaka, fundamentally changing land ownership. Milo land was allocated to chiefs and notables, while Crown land was reserved for government use. This system displaced many people and turned traditional land users into tenants, forced to pay rent, known as busulu and envujo, to the new landowners. As landlords increased rents, the colonial government intervened with the Busulu and Envujo Law in 1927, and later, the Toro Landlord and Tenant Law in 1937. These laws aimed to protect tenants from arbitrary eviction and provide security of tenure. After independence in 1962, these systems continued. The Public Land Act of 1969 transferred ownership of former Crown lands to the public, while the Land Reform Decree of 1975, issued by Idi Amin's regime, declared all land to be public, held in trust by the state. This decree intended to overhaul land ownership and management, but it was never fully implemented due to lack of resources and resistance from landowners. As a result, many traditional systems continued in practice. A major turning point came with the 1995 Constitution. This document repealed the 1975 decree and vested all land in the citizens of Uganda. It recognized 4 land tenure systems: customary, leasehold, freehold, and Milo. For the first time, customary landholding was formally recognized, giving rural Ugandans a pathway to secure land rights through certificates of customary ownership, which can be converted to freehold titles. The Land Amendment Act 2010 further improved land administration. By clarifying the rights and responsibilities of both landlords and tenants, it reduced conflict and provided clearer processes for mediation and dispute resolution. Uganda's land reform story is ongoing, but each change in legislation has been a step toward more secure, equitable, and productive land use for all Ugandans. Uganda's commitment to land reform is shaping a brighter future for its people. The government has introduced a series of reforms aimed at improving land management and ensuring equitable access for all citizens. These reforms include reviewing and updating outdated land laws, establishing regulations for the land fund to enhance access, and creating mechanisms for resolving land disputes quickly and fairly. The Physical Planning Act of 2010 declared the entire country a planning area, paving the way for development plans in Kampala and other urban centers. There are also focused efforts to strengthen women's land rights, ensuring that land reform benefits everyone. But why are these land reforms so important? First, secure land rights empower people to invest in long-term agricultural projects, boosting productivity. When land is put in the hands of those who can use it, idle plots become productive farms. Flexibility in farming allows Ugandans to adapt to changing market demands, switching crops as needed to meet new opportunities. Land consolidation and redistribution programs enable more efficient use of both land and labor, creating jobs and supporting commercial agriculture. Larger, consolidated farms can produce more for the market, moving beyond subsistence farming. With secure land tenure, landowners are motivated to invest in conservation and improvement, such as erosion control, tree planting, and irrigation, ensuring their land remains fertile for generations. To make these reforms a reality, key strategies are in place, namely, strengthening land tenure through formal titling, redistributing land to those in need, supporting smallholder farmers with credit and technical assistance, and promoting sustainable land management. These steps are designed to create a more productive, equitable, and sustainable future for Uganda's land and its people. Thank you for using this SkillPad video resource. We hope it shed more light on the land tenure system in Uganda. Come with us as we journey through the world of agriculture for your learning pleasure. We hope to see you again soon.